There was a time in educational history when people had a standardized foundation. I don't think the same thing holds true nowadays. The people that pursue college degrees, they have their Gordon Rule, and there's certain courses that are fundamental in associative arts, but it used to go further. A long time ago, an educated individual had the classics, and everybody was exposed to those same fundamental core classics. Thinking about it, it would serve as maybe a base operating system to the brain. Now, a few weeks ago, I posted a video about the brain being a pattern-seeking neural network, but the same person who originally said that, or who was beginning to say that physicist guy whose name escapes me, he's got this long gray hair and whatnot, but says that the human brain doesn't have a base operating system. I would decline to agree with that. I would say that if you've read Plato and I've read Plato, and we have a core understanding of what, say, metaphysics means, the conversation and the process that we endeavor would be very different than what we have nowadays, which to me seems more like intellectual anarchy. I don't think it's how you achieve progress. And I think that here lately, progress for its own sake on the left is determined as positive because they don't like where we are. Which ironically, conservatism for the right, for its own sake, is due to them not believing they like where we are or where the left is pulling us to go. What's interesting has to do with perspective. Conservatism versus regression, if you will. The Make America Great Again serves as a bit of a lightning rod towards this. It doesn't appeal to anyone who doesn't believe that America was better in the past in certain circumstances, and you can cherry pick examples for that. It doesn't unify us. It divides us. So it's interesting when a leader arises that pushes division over unification. So I've been taking in a little bit of Sam Harris the last couple of days. For those you may not know, he isn't as popular as I thought he would be, given his association with Joe Rogan and Lex Fridman. But Lex Fridman isn't as popular as I would think I would believe. But Sam Harris, even less so. He has some criticisms over Donald Trump, which I'm partly reluctant to bring up. I found from my postings about other things, there's certain subjects that I've breached that I can't win or get anywhere on. So need to change tactics in that regard. Where do we need to go from here? I would say if we were to fix this situation, if we were to right this ship, if it needs righting anyway, I would propose it could be said that it's always been a struggle. Just because we were too young to notice it, too naive to notice it. There's always a struggle somewhere. Maybe there were leaders in the past that made it seem easy because of their core fundamental training. If you take what used to be required and the point of let's go back to military context real quick. The point of an officer is to ensure that, or to do their best to ensure, didn't always happen. Sometimes commissions can be purchased. So the difference between a commission versus an enlistment is to ensure that it is a gentleman or a lady that has responsibility over great force. And it's a mistake to put someone who wouldn't be so qualified in such a position. Example, say you have 100 fighting people under your command. These people are capable of anything. They have, within those 100, let's just assume that they're so well trained and so specialized that in lieu of culture, their business is destruction. It would be very important that if such a thing were to exist, that it had a moral control. Fast forward to the combat aircraft. It's very important that the person in charge of something that has such destructive force and such value has a high level of moral understanding, thus a commission. I will expand that to include political leaders. And I believe that, personally, recent examples have shown what you end up with when a person is promoted past those moral understandings. So it's a matter of leadership, and I think it's a matter of leadership across the board. So just some musings this morning. What do y'all think?